Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. This week we begin with the parasha of Emor, which means to speak. And it starts talking to the priest, to the Kohen and the Kohen Gadol, about how they should conduct themselves to keep themselves pure so they could serve in the temple. Rashi comments that speak is, when it's talking about speak, it's warning us that the adults about teaching their children. So even though the parasha is talking to the Kohen, our sages teach us that every word in the Torah is relevant to us too. And at the literal level, the verse is speaking to the specific responsibility of the priest to educate their children about the priestly duty to remain ritually pure. But however, in a broader sense, since this is the opening of the parasha, we have to take it to heart and remember that it's also intended for us. The Torah is telling us that it is our responsibility as parents to teach our children. And there is a low level of teaching our kids, which is to teach them the basics, to teach them how to earn a living, how to read, how to write, how to swim. It also tells us that we have to teach them what's right and what's wrong so they can be moral human beings and ethical people. But there is a higher and more advanced approach to education, and it's highlighted also in this parasha. It's talking about the mitzvah of the counting of the Omer. So in Pesach, the second night of Pesach, we start counting the Omer, and we counted for 49 days throughout the whole month of Iyar until Shavuot. And the counting of the Omer was a measurement of barley that was taken from the first tithes to the temple as an offering. In a spiritual sense, what it means is that we are comprised of 10 different sefirot, which are 3 intellectual, Chokhmah, Bina, and Dat, which is wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And then we have 7 emotional attributes that make us, that if we are able to tune them in the right way, we're going to be able to live as holy people and to live godly. Because when God said, let's make man in my image, this is what Hashem meant. What he meant is that the way his sephiras go, we should emulate the way he is in our lifetime, and in this way we can live in a holy way, in a godly way. So for example, Abraham Avinu was Hesed, he was kindness, and he emulated God. And the 3rd day of his circumcision, he was in a lot of pain, but nevertheless for him it was very important to have guests come to him. And he was sitting outside in a very hot day, and the only thing that mattered to him is that he would see guests and that he could feed and he could host. So this was emulating Hashem, because this is how Hashem is. He's always feeding us, he's always hosting us. This is his world, this is his house where we are, this is his home, his garden, and he opens it up for us. He doesn't tell us, no, you cannot be in this place or you cannot do this. He opens his whole world for us. So we try to use that kindness to tap into the way in which Hashem is with us. We should emulate it and be in this way with other people. So the Hasidic thought explains that counting the Omer is in fact an advanced form of education, where a person progressively advances to higher levels of spiritual achievement as he refines different aspects of his personality step by step on a daily basis. And there's something very nice that it says here, is that to warn, the word lehazhir, which means warning, is the same term. Lehazhir is a derivative of the word sohar, meaning light. And so Rashi is teaching us that education is never-ending process. It's something that we have to do continuously, not only educate our kids, but we as grown-ups are re-educating ourselves all the time also. We have to be vigilant and in constant awareness of our of our behaviors in this world and what has to be checked on and what has to be perfected. And in this way, bringing many positive qualities to our children so that they literally shine as a light. And the Sefirat HaOmer, Sefirat comes also from the word Saphir, which says sapphire. And it brings light. So when a person is well educated in this way, he is a light to the world. He's going to be lighting the world. So it says in the Shema, when we say Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha, it says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart. But levavecha it's talking plural. It's referring to the heart as a plural. So what it's meaning here, the levavecha, is that we have to love God with our two different inclinations. So we have a Yetzer HaTov and a Yetzer Hara. This is the way we're made. We have a good inclination and an evil inclination. We have an animal soul and a godly soul. There's a part of us which is divine, which is godly, which is egoless, it's selfless. It just wants to be connected to Hashem and do His will. And then we have another part of ourselves which is a little more complicated, which is our animal soul, which is full of ego, and it's instinctive and has desires, and this is a part of ourselves that has to be refined. So on Pesach, we are commanded not to eat any leavened bread, so we eat matzahs for 8 days. And what this does to us is that not eating that bread for 8 days helps us reduce our ego. And this is really the antidote to not being happy in life, because when you're full of your ego, you can never be happy, because everything in life is going to be about yourself. If someone looked at you or they didn't look at you, if they were nice to you, if they're not nice to you, everything is about you. So you're always going to be miserable. So the secret to joy in life is really to be a person that has no big ego. So on Pesach we are trying to get rid of this ego to be able to start refining ourselves through the 7 weeks of the counting of the Omer. And then on the month of Iyar, we are redirecting our emotions to the right place. If we see in Pesach, we don't eat wheat, we don't eat leavened foods, and it's bread actually. And on the month of Iyar is when we do the counting of the Omer. It's also when they used to bring the offering of the Omer, which was a measurement of barley. And barley is a food that is fed to the animals. So what the Torah is trying to tell us here is that the whole month of Iyar is really trying to redirect our animal soul. It's trying to refine it. And this is the food that you give the animal. And then on Shavuot, it tells us that we have to give 2 loaves of bread as an offering. So it's double the amount of bread. We go back to bread. And why is this? Because first we have to minimize our ego, to be able to look at ourselves and say, yes, I need to perfect this in myself. I'm not such a kind person, or I'm not such a disciplined person, or I'm not such a person that has endurance. And you have to redirect these qualities. And then the month of Iyar, it's about getting to work. It's about working each day. We're counting a combination of the Sefirot. Then on Shavuot, we have reached this bitul, we have reached this selflessness. And when we're able to reach this selflessness, then we are able to channel our animal nature, which is needed in our life because we need these passions, but it's redirected for the use of holy things, and it becomes a channel for the light of Hashem. So to give you a little recap about the Sefirot, there's 7 emotional Sefirot that we use these 7 weeks to perfect ourselves. And this is one is Hesed, which is on the right side, and it's kindness. Then we have Gevura, which is discipline, it's boundaries, it's strictness, it's justice. Then we have Tiferet, which is on the center part, the Gevuras here on the left shoulder, And the Tiferet is it's humble, it's harmony, it's beauty, it's empathy, it's balance. Then we have Netzach, which is on the right kidney, and Netzach is endurance, is resilience, is victory. Then we have Hod, which is humility, and then we have Yesod, which is bonding, is being able to connect. And then the seventh one is Malchut, which means kingship. So it's 7 Sefirot, 7 lights that we connect one with another through the 7 weeks. Each week we work on one and we connect it to all the other ones. And these 7 weeks times these 7 Sefirot makes 49 days. From the second night of Pesach till the day of Shavuot, when we have been able to refine ourselves and redirect our energies in the right direction, and then we are ready to receive the Torah. So I wish you a beautiful week, a happy week, a healthy week, and remember to work on your emotional attributes. The most important thing is to be humble and see that we are always, till the day you're here, you can always grow and you can always learn and you can always continue growing and refining and perfecting yourself. God willing, in this way we'll be a light to Hashem. And don't forget, live a little higher. Thank you.